Hi everyone, it's Kinga here from Cadventure, Solibri's UK Platinum partner. I'm a business development executive, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about the model revision rule set. I will need two IFC files open, so I will open up the original Solibri building IFC file that I have worked in on all my previous videos, as well as a modified version. Uploading the versions needs to be done in a timely manner, so your version 1 always has to be the old version and version 2 has to be the new version. So how all of that fits in a workflow is that we have done our model checking, we have communicated all the issues back to the relevant people, and now it's been a couple of weeks and we received a second version back, hopefully with all the changes now amended. So as you can see, I have both of those files open at the top, and they are both pinned to the top because those are the two most frequent files that I use. So I'll now go ahead and open them both. Lovely, as you can see in the model tree, we have the Solibri building and Solibri building modified open. They've both got a little prefix at the beginning. So Solibri building is model A and Solibri building modified is model B. So how we compare different versions of a model is that we firstly go into checking. So the first thing that we need to do is to make sure we have the right rule set in place. As you can see, this is our please select rule set you want to use window. And the rule set that I am after is the model revisions comparison. So let's open that one. It is worth pointing out that the model revisions comparison rule set is part of the BIM validation architectural role. So if you are operating in a different role, then make sure you've got to change to BIM validation architectural to be able to carry out that rule set. And once you are ready with that, let's proceed by clicking on check model. So the name of the rule set kind of explains exactly what it does. It compares two different versions of the model, the previous one with all the issues, and then the second one with all the revisions made by the architects and the relevant stakeholders. We do this just to make sure that all the changes that have been made are accurate and are substantial to the changes that had to be made. So now that we have done the model check for this rule set, you can see that there is a mixture of high severity and medium severity issues identified. So all the high severity issues identified by Solibri here are to do with the timestamp. So like I have mentioned before, when uploading two versions of the model, you need to make sure you have done so in a timely manner. So what that means is that, of course, version number 1 has to be the old version and version number 2 has to be the new version. What we have done here is, on purpose, we have swapped them around. So we have uploaded the new version as version 1 and the older version as version 2. This is exactly why Solibri has identified this as an issue and is a high severity issue as it relates to this timestamp. Now that we have completed the model check, I will first start with component comparison. If we open up added and removed together in the module, you can see the bits that have been added and also the bits that have been removed. The blue objects here have been added and the red objects have been removed. So as you can see, the door has been added, a wall, as well as a suspended ceiling. And in terms of the removed objects, we have removed a wall as well as a window. We do so to avoid seeing the red and the blue objects overlapping each other, because what that would mean is that something got copied and pasted and moved. Whereas by us just having a look at the objects that have been added and removed, we can clearly see that all those 5 circumstances are completely different issues separate from each other. I will now show you a few examples of different changes between version 1 and version 2 of the model. So one that I would like to talk to you about is under the component comparison and under the modified one. So the column, there is 9 occurrences of that. I'm sure you remember from our last video where we did model checking, and one of the issues identified was that the columns were actually too short and that they were not touching the slab above. So as you can see, this rule set has now compared the version 1 and version 2. So any objects that you see in red have come from the original file, and any objects in blue have come from the new model. So what you can see right now is the 9 columns that we have looked at previously, and the red area is how tall these columns were previously in our original model, and the blue bit is how tall they are right now. So hopefully they are tall enough now to touch the slab above. The purpose of what I'm doing today is comparing different versions of this model is to have a look and see whether there are enough changes between version 1 and version 2 to invest my time into it. If you do have the time, you're more than welcome to communicate those issues back and forward. So like I have shown you in a previous video, you can open up the issue details and accept or reject the changes that have been made. That is completely optional to you, it is recommended, but that depends on the size of your project, how much time it's going to take, and of course, how many people you're communicating it with. If we now expand it in the results tab and click on one of the triangles, in the info tab below, you can see everything. So you can see what modifications have been done, how the geometry has changed, how much bigger, how much taller, and how much more voluminous the column is. This is the same case scenario for all the 9 columns below. This is another issue that I'd like to talk to you about, and it's one where we have actually added something to the model. So this door that you can see on the model right now is something that was not present in the version 1. As you can see, what happens here is that we had a big conference room that now has been made smaller and we have expanded the reception area. What that means is that we only had a room with one single door, but now that the room has been split into 2 separate rooms, we have had to add a door. So the door is in blue because it has come from the second version of the model. Just like I mentioned previously, if you would like to communicate that change to someone, just open up the issue detail window and fill it in. For the sake of the timing of today's video, I'm not going to do so, but if you'd like any more information on how to communicate issues or changes, please just refer to my last video. Another example that I'd like to walk you through is a window that has been removed. So just like I've mentioned previously, the conference room number 2 has been shifted to the side. As you can see from the footprint on the model, there is a wall right here. If the window was to stay here, the wall would have been going right through it, so the window had to be removed. One last change that I would like to walk you through is the wall that has been removed. So if we open up the removed and we focus on this wall, if you scroll down all the way to the warning triangle here, if we open that up, you can see in the information tab that the wall components have been removed from the new model. So what the situation was prior to the changes is that there were 2 walls, one within the other. So as you can imagine, that would be very inaccurate if it was to come to information takeoff. So in summary, today I got the chance to show you how the model revisions comparison rule set works in action. So essentially what the aim of that is to compare different versions of a model. You can only compare 2 versions at a time, but they don't have to be in sequence. So it doesn't have to be version number 1 and version 2. We can always compare versions number 1 and number 7 if there is a need. What that really helps with is managing the project and seeing if the changes that we have requested, the issues that we have communicated, seeing if they actually have been fulfilled and if they have been fulfilled to our satisfaction and needs and requirements. Thank you so much for watching, and please do leave us any comments, any suggestions just below in the comments section. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or drop us an email on the contact details on your screen right now. We do have plenty other videos coming very soon, so please stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.